Hi everyone, this is Becky Auer with the No BS Marketing Meeting, and I am with Eric Pensenstadler, owner of Video Horizons, and we're about to find out the answers to some of the most frequently asked questions, as well as some questions that you guys sent in. So if you don't know Eric, he's the owner of Video Horizons, a video production company right here in Pittsburgh, as well as a silver member here at the No BS Marketing Meeting. In addition, and more importantly, he began his video career with the likes of David Copperfield, Leonard Skinner, Brooks and Dunn, and other national and international touring acts. He's also done video for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Pirates, and the Steelers, and for hundreds of businesses from around the country, from hospitals to schools, from plumbers to magicians. And speaking of magicians, Eric has worked with a local magician, Mike Super, for quite some time. You may have heard of Mike recently if you watched America's Got Talent, as Mike is now in the semifinals. Anyhow, the reason we're filming this interview now and not at the meeting like we originally planned is because Eric is on the set of America's Got Talent the night of our meeting, helping Mike in the semifinals. How cool is that? So first, congratulations for that, Eric. And now, with no further ado, let's talk to Eric Pensenstadler about doing a video shoot and what you should know about video to grow your business.
Well, thank you, Becky. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to be doing this. And first of all, let me just again say, for what it's worth, I apologize for not being there in person, at the meeting. I was really looking forward to it all month since we started planning it. But obviously, this is an amazing opportunity to actually get to perform on America's Got Talent. Now, I'm not actually performing. I'm just going to be helping Mike Super, and he's in the quarterfinals now. I think I can say tonight, as you're watching this, that he was Howie Mandel's wild card pick to come back, and we're very excited about it. So. Again, I'm sorry I can't be there, but please watch. So tonight after the meeting, go home at 9 o'clock. Watch on is it NBC or ABC? I forget. I think it's ABC or NBC. Anyway, it's America's Got Talent. Please watch, but more importantly, vote for Mike Super. If he gets the votes, he'll go through to the finals and have a shot at $1 million. Now, I'm only going to get a very, very teeny tiny part of that, but I would like a part of it. So anyway, it's just it's exciting for all of us, and that's not what I'm here to talk about. But since you mentioned it, that's why I couldn't be here, live to do the interview. But I'm excited. So let's get started. I know we have some questions, some information we wanted to get through, as well as questions that came in from the emails from the emails. So let's get started.
What do I wear when I film my web video?
That's one of the first questions that we get. What do I wear when I film the video? And the answer, basically what I tell you is you wear what represents you. The point of a web video is for the viewer to get to know you, to get comfortable with you, so that when you show up at their house, if you're a plumber, for example, or they take their car to your garage, or whatever, whatever you're selling, which oftentimes in a web video is a service. Certainly can be a product itself, but if you're selling a service, especially if it's yourself, if you're the owner of the company or self-employed, then the goal is for the person to be comfortable with you, and then when you work with them, that they know exactly who they're getting, what you look like, what you sound like, who you are, what you act like. So just for example, if you're a plumber, I'm going to use plumber as an example a lot because it's just a perfect example of a service and one that people need, one that you go to their house, so it's very personal. So if you're a plumber, don't put on a suit and tie. You can wear, if you wear overalls or if you wear a shirt with your company logo on it. That's what I recommend. Whatever you're going to show up to the job in. Now, of course, there's exceptions to that and everything, such as if you're a painter. Still, I would recommend putting on your overalls or your paint suit. Now, if it's an old one completely covered in paint and everything, get a new one for the video or put a different one on. But again, the idea is the same. You don't want to necessarily wear a suit in the video if your job means wearing overalls and painting. And then conversely, of course, if you're a business coach or a life coach or a CPA, anything like that you typically would wear a suit and tie or dress clothes to work or to your job or when you're meeting with the client, then obviously don't do the video in shorts and a t-shirt. So you don't want to look sloppy, of course. But so the roundabout answer, what do you wear in the video? Wear what represents you, what represents your industry.
So do I have to memorize lines or should I use a teleprompter?
Do you have to memorize lines or use a teleprompter? Yes and no. If you're comfortable in front of a camera or you've done it before and you can memorize the script or the lines, then yeah, that's great. But again, it's because you want to create a comfortable feeling with the person that's watching, with the person you might be doing business with. So if you talk very rigid and you sound like you're just reading lines, it's not going to come across as sincere. So we all probably have an elevator speech. So if you were meeting somebody in an elevator or at a networking event, such as through the chamber or something like that, it's very casual. You know what you want to say and what the points are, but you're not reiterating a memorized script. Maybe your elevator speech or maybe your point of difference is a standard line that you deliver all the time, but still you're not trying to deliver a memorized line. So the goal is, again, just to sound natural, to be likable. This is a common theme that we'll talk about a lot or maybe outside this interview, but you probably well know people do business with those they know, like, and trust. So again, you just want to be casual. So kind of the idea there is ideally if you could just remember talking points. You want to make this point, and this point, and then just talk about them. Be natural. So ideally, if you could do memorize the script, if you want to call it that, and deliver it in one swoosh, that's great. But there's no pressure to. Believe me, I know what it's like to be on this side of the camera. I have about 15 web videos on my own website. When I filmed them, I must have done 1,000 takes because as soon as I get on this side of the camera, my brain goes blank, I freeze up. So I know what it's like. And that's really important because then when I'm filming with somebody else, I can tell if they're reluctant. I can tell if they're not acting themselves. And if that's the case, I'll try to do some icebreakers. We'll do multiple takes. I'm very patient with them and try to help them through it. So, yeah, that's that. So, and as far as a teleprompter, you'd asked, again, depending on the level of production, yes, you can use a teleprompter, and that's a great way to do it. They're a little expensive, and it requires another person to control it and things like that. But depending on the production level, that's a great way to go. Yep.
What do I do with my hands? Do I use hand gestures and facial expressions, or just have a blank slate?
Sure.
Or
well, play this video back. You see what I'm doing. I'm not Italian, but I still do this a lot. And again, it really comes down to whatever's natural. The body language, the body position that portrays the most amount of confidence is standing with your hands at your side. Now, if you try doing that, it feels really awkward unless you're familiar with doing that, especially if you're in front of a camera already. Excuse me. Sorry. That can feel very awkward to do. So, unless you can do that, then I would tell you just to do whatever's natural. Yes, you want to have some facial expressions. You don't want to just talk and have a blank, look on your face. Because again, it's all about connecting with the viewer and making them feel comfortable with you. And if you're not comfortable, then they're not going to be comfortable. There's a quote, this is a perfect time to put it in, that I wanted to mention from Linda Stuckey from Clearly Speaking. Linda's a good friend of mine. She has a book just ready to be released. She's a voice coach, a vocal coach, particularly with business executives that have an accent. And she said, we're all judged and perceived by the way we look and the way we sound. The content of what we say really even doesn't even matter that much if we don't sound credible, likable, and trustworthy. So the point of that is, of course, the content of your message is very important, but how you deliver it is going to possibly determine whether the person clicks off the video or lets it play. So yeah, you just want to be natural, whatever is natural for you.
Should I be sitting or standing while I tape my video?
Again, that depends. Depends on what we're doing. If I've done a lot of the web videos for people in an office, and we have them sit at their desk, and of course, we would want to clear up any clutter and things like that. I've done some mechanics, some auto garages, and I'll have them stand either in their the waiting room or in the garage. Doctors, I've mentioned, we've done both, sitting in their office or at the table, and I've had them stand behind the operating table before. So it depends on what the situation is. And again, if I'm coming to you, then it depends on the situation. And again, I'm sure if it's been brought up already in the meeting tonight that the Weston and I have a boot camp coming up about web videos, a web video boot camp. And you have the opportunity to come get instruction on how to write a video, actually get the video written with the professional guidance of Weston and some others, and then step into the next room and have your video filmed. And you actually leave the boot camp with a completed introductory web video. And in that particular case, you'll be standing. We're going to have it set up already, so it won't be obviously your environment. This particular way, this one's going to work. You'll step into the room, you'll stand in front of the camera and deliver your web video. And again, like I said before, we can do multiple takes and things. But so in that particular case, you'll be standing. But if it's something where we're filming at your location, then it just depends on what that location is. Either way is just fine.
And what if I totally screw up?
What if you totally screw up? Then we stop and start over. Next question. No, it's really that easy. Again, I want me or who's ever filming your web video, I want you to be very comfortable and confident. That's the best way to get you to relax. And if you're worried that, I have only one take, then you're going to be tense. AGT tonight is a live show. It's going to be pretty tense. There's no retakes. But in a web video, even in a boot camp, yes, we can start and stop. If you get to the very last word and then freeze or say the wrong thing, then we just stop and do it again. Or like I said, depending on kind of level of production, if we do chunks, one paragraph or one line at a couple lines at a time, then it's very easy to just, if you mess up, then we just go back to the beginning of that part. It's not a problem. It's very important that you're comfortable and confident going into it.
What do I say on the video?
What do you say in the video? That could be a whole interview in itself. So let me just touch on it. And again, I have to say it depends on which video you choose and the level of production. But in general, the main point that you want to say is your point of difference. What makes you different? Why the viewer should choose you instead of somebody else. If you trust somebody, you're going to buy from them. If you don't trust them, you're not going to buy what they're selling or what they're offering. It usually is as simple as that. Again, what do you say in the video? Typically, your point of difference is the main ingredient. You can include in there your mission statement and things like that, but that's that.
What do I do with the video once I have it?
What do you do with the video once you have it? Generally speaking, of course, on your website. You want to get it on, it depends on what the content is. If it's the introduction video, typically on your landing page or your first page, because you want people to see it. If it's more detailed videos or multiple videos, then you want to put them on whatever page they're talking about. I'll just use myself as an example. Again, I've got 10 or 15 web videos on my site. Of course, they're not all on one page. They're not all on the home page. But as you go to different sections of the website, there are web videos talking about what's on that particular page, that information. So it's the same thing. So what do you do with it? Generally speaking, the best thing typically, again, it's just kind of a blanket statement, is to put the video on YouTube, then embed or link that to your website. A couple of reasons for that. Number one, let YouTube take the file size and host that. Your whoever hosts your website may have a limit to how much size and space you can use. So a web video that's a minute long could easily be almost a gigabyte in file size, depending on, because now the internet can handle it. In the past, we used to try to get it just a few megabytes. Now we can throw a gig or 2 gigs on YouTube, no problem. So it's a lot of space for your own server, so let YouTube handle it, or Vimeo. But here's the advantage of YouTube. And again, and nothing against Vimeo or some of the other sites, they're fantastic. In fact, put it on both, put it on all of those sites. But YouTube, Google is obviously the most used search engine, no question about that. The second most used search engine is YouTube, not Yahoo or anything else, is YouTube. So number one, having your video on YouTube increases the chances that somebody might come across it. But number two, did you know YouTube is owned by Google? So when you have video content on your website, especially on the homepage, and that's why the introductory video is so important to have on your homepage, Google, however the analytics works, however, I can't explain it, I just know that it does. However, I'm sorry, my clock, if you can hear that. However the Google Analytics work, it recognizes the video code on your website, so it automatically thinks you're a leader, an industry expert, so it ranks you higher in the search engine optimization. Now further, if that video is linked to YouTube, it just skyrockets how high your website comes up in the search engines. And I forget exactly the percentages and the numbers. It is in our web video report, the special report that you have, that we have. It talks about the percentages and the numbers in there. But yeah, so what do you do with the video? Get it on YouTube, get it on Vimeo, then link it to your website. And like I said, whether it's a home page or whatever page that video is talking about.
Thanks, Eric.
You're
I
welcome.
really appreciate you doing this interview for our No BS Marketing members, especially under the circumstances with going to New York tomorrow for America's Got Talent. I know our members will get a lot out of this and be able to use the info to get more videos up online and to help them grow their business. Thanks again, and good luck in New York at America's Got Talent.
Well, thank you. You're very welcome. I'm glad to do it once again. Sorry I couldn't be there, but go home, watch AGT, and vote for Mike Super. That's my shameless plug. Thanks, Becky. Thanks, Weston. Hello to everybody, and we'll look forward to seeing you next month.